All right. What's going on, folks? Welcome back to the FF Face-Off, part of the Face-Off Sports Network. And we're here today answering your Week 3 start-sit questions. I always try to not say that too fast so I don't fumble up the last back end of that. But yeah, thanks for joining us. My name is Michael Hopp. You can follow me on X at the FF Realist. I'm joined by Matt here, who can be followed at the FF Mediators. Matt, man, how's it going?
Not too bad, man. Happy to be here. Ready for another week of football. How about you?
Amen. Right there with you. So, yeah, we're looking forward to answering some of these questions. Get the lineup set. I'm going to put a DFS link in here at some point. We got a few more spots left in our FF Face Off weekly league, which I got to make more teams in. So yeah, whatever. But yeah, all right. We can get into some of these questions if you guys want. You guys send in the questions, of course. Things do tend to pile up sometimes. So if they do, if you send in a super chat, then you get to cut the whole line. It's a nice little perk. So keep that in mind. And let's see what we got here. Well, Tyler came in, of course. I got to put show, fellas. Thank you, Tyler. Cheers to you, sir. Jeff Marks came in and said, good morning. Pick 2, full point PPR, Jordan Mason, Travis Etienne, Emeka Ebuka, and Calvin Ridley. Matt, where are you rolling with Jeff's question here?
For me, I'm really focusing on the first 3 names, but I'm going to go with Jordan Mason, who should have a bunch of opportunity with Aaron Jones out. And then I'll also take Travis Etienne, who I think looked really well. And I think he's going to continue to be a big playmaker for this Jaguars offense, and hopefully they can get a win, man. I mean, they had the Bengals beat, and they beat themselves. Ibuka would be the close start for me, but I like these 2 running backs with just how much opportunity they're going to get.
Literally right there on the same wavelength with you, especially Mason. Mason was the one that was cemented in for me when I was reading this. But Ibuka, when you look at the week of practice or lack thereof, so I kind of look at that as well. So, that would make me go with Travis Etienne, who, by the way, I told people in August he was not dead yet. People yelled at me. So just throwing that out there. Yeah, take your victory last when you can, man, because they can get derailed quick. Jared says, morning, guys. PPR flex. Wan'Dale Robinson versus the Chiefs tonight, which surprisingly is an exciting game for people. Hollywood versus the Giants, of course, or Keenan Allen versus Denver. So, Matt, where you going here? He needs 1 PPR flex.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think I'm going with Wan'Dale. I just love the floor for him. It's PPR. He's had a ton of involvement thus far. He's even made some big plays, which is uncharacteristic for him. But I think playing the Chiefs, that offense is going to be humming, so they're going to have to score some points. And I just think that sets up for Wan'Dale.
Yeah, I totally get the Wan'Dale thing. I'm going to go Hollywood Robinson here. I mean, Hollywood Brown. But I totally get it. But yeah, Wan'Dale is a nice option because he does always seem to get those targets. They always just seem to roll in. So don't hate the call, but I'm going Hollywood. But Jared, do with that what you like. Moet was answering the earlier question from Jeff, so we got that. And I think that's it for questions. I don't think we have any questions right now.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 18 people watching, so if you've got a question, throw it in there. Let us know. There's more on X tuning in as well, so we're just waiting for you guys.
I mean, if we're taking a look at some of this stuff, I mean, Jackson Smith-Njigba is expected to play today, so that's good. We mentioned Emeka Ebuka. Again, he's going to play, but hip and groin issues. And then DeAndre Swift, Tucker Kraft. So we'll see what happens there. Tucker Kraft, a late week scare there with the injury. What was that, Thursday, I think, where we all thought it was going to be terrible. And then all of a sudden, everything was just fine. But, yeah, so we got that going on. Let me check one other thing here. Yeah, we're good to go there.
It looks like we've got more in the chat, but they're just not popping up for us over here on StreamYard. So
interesting. Could be a StreamYard dilemma.
Yeah.
See that. All right. Well, do you have any right there while I look at that here on this end?
Yeah. So Lex Plant says Sutton, Judkins, Hampton, Tootin start 2 PPR.
Sutton, Judkins, and Hampton.
I would go with Sutton and Judkins in that situation. Just given the fact Judkins already the RB1 was involved this past week. I think he's clearly the best player in that room. Tootin, while it's fun to think about what he could be in Jacksonville, he's just not there yet. Hampton has been a huge disappointment thus far. So I think there's still some more time for that to kind of develop.
Yeah, I would go there too. I'm not ready to do Hampton yet in that spot. I'm gonna stay away from that. I am gonna pop out of the studio quick and see if I could figure that out, Matt. So just take the next question while I pop
Yeah.
out. I'll pop right back in.
Bear with us while we try and figure this out. Albert says, "What's up, fellas? We appreciate you for being here, Albert." Ryan, you asked, "Please help. Should I start Travis Etienne, Calvin Ridley, Debo Samuel, Quentin Johnson, or Franklin in my flex?" It's a 12-man league. I would go with Travis Etienne. I think that's the best play. Although I do still like Debo. I think a lot of people are fading him. I think there's plenty of opportunity in this offense. Mariota has done it before. QJ has been interesting thus far this year, but I just think given the floor of Travis Etienne, that would be the play for me in this situation. Let's see here.
Which one were we at last? Because now I have them up here.
Okay.
On mine.
I'll leave and join back. We are at
I would tell you that if you leave and
Ross
join back,
H.
Ross, you said Ross H?
Yeah.
Okay, there he is. Okay, yeah, I would just say that when you leave, you just got to refresh because like the moment I hit refresh, they all came in.
All right,
so
I'll be right back.
All right, so we got Ross H in here asking Bo Nix or Drake May. I like Drake May this week. Drake May had only his second 20-point game of his young career. I know Nix has certainly done more for fantasy thus far, but in this particular matchup, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go Drake May in this spot. It's a close call. They're ranked pretty close this week. We got Drake May going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Steelers, while I think they'll improve defensively, they have been getting thrashed quite a bit to start the year. So, Matt, they did ask Bo Nix or Drake May. I'm going Drake May here. What says you?
I have them back to back in my rankings, and I have Nix one stop ahead. So I'm just going to go with Nix.
Yeah. All right. That's I'm not going to argue with anybody going Knicks. I'm going to go May. But again, I had said that before you pop back in. I mean, they're ranked right near each other. So
yep.
Yeah, so that makes sense. Ross also asked, would you start Harold Fannin Jr. over Kelsey?
I'm going to start Kelsey over Harold Fannin. Just he's so involved and he's a lifeblood of that offense. I mean, he might have some down weeks, but the odds to him to score a touchdown, I imagine, are pretty high. Because most weeks they are.
Yeah, I get it in terms of the targets. You know, I know people were excited, especially week one, you know, with Fannin getting those targets. Currently 7th among tight ends with 14 targets. So, but yeah, I'm still going to go Travis Kelsey there because I think, like you said, there's more potential for the touchdown as opposed to targets. So, but yeah, all right. So we'll scroll on down. No, Mike, that's scrolling up. You're going the wrong way. Okay. Joe Egan asks, start to Roma Dunze, JSN, who we just said is expected to play, or Drake London. He went 0 RB starting Neighbors on Sunday Night Football. Hard to not like that. But, Maddie's got to start 2 of those options. What says you?
I mean, I love all 3 players, but I think you have to go with the 2 that are at the elite tier, and that's JSN and London. I mean, JSN, while he has the illness and looks like he's going to play, has been phenomenal this year. He's been a really good play, outproducing his ADP. So I think you got to play him. Same with London. I think he's the best player here.
Yeah, and that JSN injury there, or him on the injury report, that's him having an illness. So it's not like we got to worry about like a groin with a Mecca or what have you. Yeah, I think by season's end, we're going to have to look at this question differently in terms of Roma Dunze. I think he's going to emerge. But for now, yeah, I'm going back end here. JSN and London. Ryan says, do you guys like Troy Franklin or Calvin Ridley at all this week? I have either them to Matthew Golden or Rashad White to start in my flex. I'm in a 20-man league. It's not bad, the options you have in a 20-man league, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, Matt. I think this is a Matthew Golden week, personally.
Let's go, Hoff. I do too.
Yeah.
On Wednesday, I said he's going to score a touchdown. I have him ranked at 29 this week.
Yeah.
It feels right. And I have,
especially considering these names, but go on.
Yeah, I was going to say I have Calvin at 31, so that would be the next start for me over any of them. But I love Matthew Golden, man.
Yeah. Yep. Let's do it. All right. Fine. Beautiful. And by the way, you got the Packer logo, so that should be a home run for you. You should love that answer. Brian Boggs says need 2 wide receivers and a flex, so needs 3 players here. Well, he said, oh, he needs a wide receiver too and a flex. So we are picking two. Apologize. Jerry Judy, Quentin Johnson, Jalen Warren. That would have been interesting if we were picking three players. He gave us three players. That would have been easy to answer. What says you, Matt? Judy, Quentin Johnston, and Jalen Warren.
I'm for sure starting Warren in the flex. He's looked really dang good thus far this year. He's going to get a bunch of opportunities. Jerry Judy, gosh, I've never been a big Judy fan, but he is involved, and it kind of looks for them to be down and losing again. But QJ's been really good, so I'm going to go with Jerry Judy. I think that's a safe play. Good floor.
I thought we were going to disagree there. Yeah, I'm going Jerry Judy, and I do like Jalen Warren. I'm actually pissed I traded him in my home league. That was an error on my part, but yeah, I would go with those options as well. Ryan also popped back in. And by the way, if you guys have any super chats, feel free to send them in. You cut the line then. But Ryan said also thoughts about Pearsall as my wide receiver 2 this week. I like him. I mean, Jennings is on the injury report. He's been on the injury report all week. He's barely practiced, but Jennings, we've seen this before from him where he doesn't practice and he plays well. But I still like Pearsall in this spot. That Cardinals secondary is beat up this week in terms of injuries. Could be a Mac Jones start again, most likely, for a potential 3-0 home opening 49ers. So, Niner Nation. So there you go. Matt, thoughts on Pearsall this week? You like him or?
Yeah, I mean, you could do worse. It depends on, what your other options are on your team. But, again, you could do worse. So I think it's okay.
Joe had came back and said, I assume this doesn't change your answer, but in terms of that question you asked earlier with the Roma Dunze, JSN, he did follow up and say that's full point per reception. We're still going with JSN in London, right? Yeah. Okay. I thought so. All right. Fat golf are you a fat golfer? Does that mean so like you're cool though because you're PhD? I'll shut up. I wish Pete was here to not pronounce his name correctly. In my flex, should I play Tyrone Tracy, who is trending down, or play Diami Brown? I could also pick up Matthew Golden or Kayshawn Booty off waivers. I like Booty, but Booty to me is like, you're really hoping for a touchdown there because that's kind of what these wide receivers have done for New England so far. Barely any catches, sneak into the end zone, save the week. I'm going Matthew Golden again, man.
I would too. I think that's the better play.
Me and Matt are going to hold hands and jump off the cliff, Thelma and Louise style, with Matthew Golden.
It's risky, man, but if it pays off,
but I think that this is a good opportunity for him.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, we're sticking with Golden. Maybe he's going to be the recurring theme on this show. Gerard says full point per reception. Which one to flex? Ridley, Hampton, Johnston, or Diggs? I'm going Stephon Diggs here. I did like the targets per route run improving from week 1 to week 2. I still think he needs a little more time before he's fully Stephon Diggs, or at least the Stephon Diggs that we're going to get at this point in his career. But I'll go Diggs here in this. Matt, you look like you're going to disagree with me.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Calvin Ridley. I was trying to decide if I had the fortitude to pick Hampton, and I don't. It's Ridley. I just can't trust him yet.
I think at this point with Hampton, I think we need to see it before we can. At least that's, I need to see it before I'm like, all right, let's get him back in there. Lex, plant some trees. Good for you, Lex. Look, Captain Planet Enthusiast. I have 3 questions in there. Y'all can't see them. Oh, well, we'll get to them. I don't know where the hell they went then. Lex, plant some trees.
We did miss one, so I'll pull it up real quick.
Yeah, if you could find it, because see,
right
you're good at. You see, this is why I told you off air. You sniff these things out. I wouldn't have found that in 40 minutes. Travis Hunter, Troy Franklin, or Jennings start 1 PPR. Matt, where are you going here? I want to check something before I answer this, but what says you here?
For me, I'm going to go with Travis Hunter. Hasn't been the best start, but I think it could also have been worse. The Jags offense is scoring some points. If they could get clicking, man, it was all sorts of problems all over the place. But I want to see it one more time from Troy Franklin. I'm not sure what to make of it. I think he's looked okay.
Sure.
Jennings, you mentioned he's been in and out of the injury report. It's Mac Jones again. I just don't know if I trust the 49ers, to be honest.
I think I'm going to go with here. I'm going to go with the old insurance policy spot. I'm going to put Troy Franklin in for now. But as we get closer to 4 o'clock, I'm assuming you can, pick out your players before before the ball kicks off for that specific team, because the Niners play around 4 as well. If you hear Jennings is playing, I put in Jennings over Franklin. If we hear Jennings is trending towards out or, snap count, that sort of thing, then we go ahead and then we go with Troy Franklin. It's nothing against Travis Hunter. Just I'd like to play that whole insurance policy there of starting Jennings. So that's where I'd go there.
I get it.
Joe Egan, did he? No, did he answer this one already?
We
Yeah,
answered
he did.
this
We
one.
got. That was the full point per perception. You got it.
Yeah.
We got you, Joe. Morning, y'all. Need a flex spot. Austin Franklin from Denver. Austin or Franklin?
Yeah, who is Austin? Am I missing the obvious?
Yeah, I don't think so, because isn't Eckler no more?
Eckler's no more. Is there another Austin? I can't think of another Austin.
Well, for now we're gonna go Franklin because we don't know who the hell Austin is. So
Franklin, with conviction.
With confidence. Yeah. If you come back in and let us know who that is, then we'll definitely help you out. LA comes in here, PPR flex, Jalen Warren, Higgins, or Pickens. I know we answered Jalen Warren earlier, but I like this week for George Pickens. I specifically like him in DFS. I've got him in some of my DFS lineups, which reminds me, I'm going to put in a link. We have a few more spots left in our DFS contest for this week on DraftKings. I will go Pickens here, especially with it being PPR. Matt, what says you here?
I really want to say T. Higgins. And I think I'm going to go with T. Higgins. Minnesota, it's a really tough matchup, and it's a backup quarterback. I get it, but when Browning has played, they have just let him throw the ball 40 times a game. Like, he just slings it all over the field, and I can't help but want to chase the Lightning.
Yeah, this is definitely not one of those spots where, by the way, I'm sorry, I'm putting in the DraftKings link there. To your point about Browning, this is definitely not one of those spots where they're going to scale back the offense, do something completely different. They're going to let him throw. They've done it before. They're going to do it again this week. So, yeah. But I'm going Pickens, but I don't hate the Higgins pick either. So, Juan comes in here. Who for my wide receiver 1, 2, 3, and flex? Wide receivers: Quentin Johnston, Deebo Samuel, Devontae Adams, a lot of Troy Franklin today. Kayshon Boutte, Hollywood Brown. Let's go with the wide receiver 1, 2, or 3 here, quick, and then we'll get to the running backs and figure out what the flex situation is. But yeah,
for me, the wide receivers, it's going to be Adams, Deebo, then QJ. You could mention Franklin, but I'm not really, like I said, I'd rather play QJ, hope for another big play from him down the sideline. Maybe he scores.
I'm going to go Deebo, Adams, and Hollywood here. But Johnson is right there for me. So maybe he ends up being the flex. We'll see. Actually, probably won't be once we read up these running backs. I assume you're starting some. Oh, those are his starters for running back. What the hell is this? Trevion Henderson, Zach Charbonnet, or Nick Chubb. Okay. So Jonathan Taylor and Josh Jacobs are starters. God, now it makes sense once I read it. There you go, buddy. But yeah. So I don't think I'm putting any of those guys in over Quentin Johnston, who would be my flex pick at this point. Would you put in any of those running backs at flex?
I mean, Henderson would be the one I would consider, but it's been really disappointing so far. So I would probably put Hollywood. So we're essentially making the same lineup, just getting there a different way.
Sure. And by the way, I mean, I know you've got no choice because you just got Juwan Johnson there. Nothing else tight end, but I do love Juwan Johnson this week. So yeah, enjoy that. Jared comes in. Kyler Murray or Justin Herbert rest of season. This is Justin Herbert for me. It's pretty much a slam dunk. I think when the season ends, I think the stat lines will be close to one another, but I think Herbert's going to give you more consistency, less headaches. He seemed to do it the second half of last year in this Greg Roman offense, and he's been doing pretty well so far. So it's Herbert quickly for me.
Same. I mean, Kyler Murray his legs are going to save fantasy days, but at the same time, he is not even close as a passer to Justin Herbert, who has played fantastic so far.
Sure. And by the way, we do have 40 people watching, so if you want, feel free to send in any likes. That would be very helpful. And we do have our first super chat of the day. Alfredo comes in at Flex. By the way, $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much, Alfredo.
Yeah, thanks, Alfredo.
At Flex, full point per reception. Kamara, Ridley, Pearsall, or DJ Moore. Just some interesting options. Matt, if you're picking one here, full point per reception, what are we thinking?
I'm going to go with the worst offense out of all these people. It's going to be Kamara. He is everything for this team. He's going to get 10 to 15 carries and probably 6 to 10 targets. So I'm going to take those points, take that floor, and hope he falls in the end zone.
I will say the honorable mention, the runner-up. I'm going to agree with you, Kamara. I just want to mention I do like DJ Moore here this week in general. High over/under on the week. I think we're going to see some. I think it's going to live up to that. So I do like DJ Moore, but again, you said all the right things about Kamara. I mean, it's literally him. So and Juwan Johnson, I love. But yeah,
true.
So yeah. But yeah, so let's go with that. Alvin Kamara would be our pick there. Alfredo, we appreciate that question. And then here we go. Where was I? Did we answer that one or no?
No, we're right here.
Look at you. Why are you so good at this? This is so annoying. All right. Now I see it. All right, PPR flex. Ridley, Diggs, or Marvin Harrison. Matt, since you were so quick to the trigger there, you must already have an answer. What says you?
I'm going to go with Marvin Harrison. He's been a disappointment thus far, and Coach and I, we've gone back and forth about Marv, but I still think he's the one of the offense. He's got a lot of opportunity. Ridley, he's going to have to get some more stable hands, in my opinion. It's not been great so far. Lots of drops. Diggs, you mentioned Diggs. It's been better in week 2 than he was in week 1.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how that goes moving forward.
I'm going Diggs here, and maybe some people would be safer going Marvin Harrison, but honestly, I wouldn't. I'm just not. I mean, the Niners' run defense has been better than their pass defense, but Marvin Harrison, man. I mean, you look at his stat line for the year, and you'd expect that for 1 week. You know, we're just not getting it yet, and I don't know what the disconnect is. I don't know if we completely overvalued Marvin Harrison coming into his NFL career, or if Kyler Murray is holding him back. I think we find out after this year probably. But yeah, I'm going Diggs here personally, but I get why people would feel safer with Marvin Harrison.
Oh, it's scary. You're not wrong.
Oh, okay,
A conversation will have to be had eventually of what do we do with him, because he has not lived up to like expectations at all.
And I think the expectations were too high entering his career, but even now, it's like, what are we doing? All right, PPR, flex, Swift or Terry McLaurin. I know Pete loves himself some DeAndre Swift. Matt, do you? No, you do not. You just
I love Terry. I'm wearing a Terry shirt right now, but I'm gonna go with Swift.
What up?
Just because of the opportunity, man. Like, he hasn't looked great in my opinion, but at the same time, he's gonna get 25 opportunities this game just because he always does. I mean, they've been looking for a running mate with him, and no one has even looked as close to him, and he's not looked that good either.
Yeah, it's taken a little bit for McLaurin to get going, which would make sense given the fact that he held out so long. I think I would go DeAndre Swift. I think if all things were equal, if McLaurin was in camp all year, you're probably not even asking this question. And we're answering a lot different with conviction. But yeah, I would go Swift here as well. But nice shirt though, anyway, Matt.
Oh, thanks,
yeah, no problem. I'm rocking CMC this morning, so that's where
we like him too. He scored points.
Yep. Iggy with a cute picture of a dog wants to know PPR, Scadaboo or Henderson.
Woof.
I'm going Scadaboo here, but part of me wonders, like, do people just want to go Scadaboo because we're just so excited to watch him play, and pass protection, everything else. We love to see him. We love the passion. But I do like Scadaboo for fantasy over Henderson, even though I think it'll be close. What says you, Matt?
I'm going Henderson. Just simply the big play effect. Both of these guys are going to have to be worked in. They're not the current, quote, starter.
Sure.
and that matters. But I think Henderson's the big play threat, so I'm chasing the upside, and I'm going with Henderson.
Do you think at some point we see Scadaboo this year as the clear-cut number one?
I do think it's very possible. I really do.
Yeah, same. All right, let's get to Joseph Fitness coming back in here again. How'd I do in this trade? 12-team point per reception. Mike Evans and Ricky Pearsall for Roma Dunze. No worries if this stream is just starts it. Really appreciate you guys. No, we can answer these. It's fine, man. We don't mind doing that. But yeah, so he traded Evans and Pearsall for Roma Dunze. Is that what you did? If you did that, I don't like that, man.
I don't either.
I don't mind answering your question.
I would have kept the package, but at the same time,
Yeah.
I mean, if you believe in Rome that much, and I do think Rome will be the one going forward, and let's say you project him to be a top 16 wide receiver, by all means, man.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like I said earlier. I think by the time season ends, I think Roma Dunze will be more of a prominent fixture there, but I still not in love with that trade. I do think after about a year or two, we're just talking about this being a pure sale for Rome, because I think the sun might be starting to set on one Mike Evans, at least in terms of fantasy dominance. All right. LA coming back in here. Standard flex, Connor, Pickens, Keenan Allen. This is, I'm debating between the last two. I don't like James Conner. James Conner's been scaring me this year, especially I mentioned the 49ers run defense. So I don't love that either. Matt, while I internally debate here, what says you?
Well, sure. I'll just voice my internal debate. Connor
Cool.
is someone I had ranked higher than most people to start the week. A lot of buzz coming out, a lot of people talking to me about that specific ranking. So I've kind of cooled on him. I think if they get to the goal line, he's got a great opportunity to score because they put him in there. Trey Benson has been playing between the 20s, not necessarily inside the goal line. But gosh, I think I'm leaning the wide receivers here. I'm starting to not trust Connor, man. So I would probably go with, I think Pickens is a good week. You mentioned
I was gonna go Pickens. I just had to debate for a hot second, but yeah, Pickens. Just Connor is just he's they're kind of worrying me over there with Arizona in general with that offense. Whatever.
True.
All right, Mr. Out of the Box says Big Penix Energy or Indiana Jones. Man, I wish Tyler was here to answer this. We do have a question on the back end of that, but quarterbacks here. Listen, I think eventually we're going to see Daniel Jones come back down to earth. And I don't even mean Daniel Jones coming back down to earth like what he was with the Giants. I still think he's going to be a capable quarterback. I do think this is another good spot for Daniel Jones here going up against the Titans. Penix doesn't have a bad matchup either against the Panthers, but I'm going Jones here. Going Jones. Sort of comfortable.
Yeah, I'm not really sure which way I would go. I think both are in a similar situation, but I'm going to go with Penix. I think that maybe the Colts offense gets slowed down a little bit, and they kind of get hot. They haven't punted. I don't think that's going to continue.
No,
so
of course not.
I like the Falcons to kind of bounce back after a tough week against Minnesota. They take on the Panthers. I'm not really worried about the Panthers, to be honest. They give a bunch. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, breaking news, Tyler did chime into the group chat and said, unfortunately, he would go Daniel Jones.
Ooh, we love to hear that, Tyler.
Yeah, we do love to hear that. That makes me smile. I'm sorry. Did you have a point after that? I apologize.
Honestly, I forgot because now I'm thinking about Tyler picking Daniel Jones.
Yeah, it's good. We do have a super chat we'll get to in a second, but on the back end of that, Buka or Ayu Manor? I'm going Buka, even though I was a little worried about the injury report stuff. But.
Yeah, I think you have to. He's looked too good. Ayu Manor's looked great thus far. I mean, definitely he looked like a player to pick up, but Buka.
All right, so we do have a super chat here. Oliver Green with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, sir. Half point per reception. Ibuka, T. Higgins, or Wan'Dale Robinson. He does have a question about quarterbacks too, but let's go here with the wide receivers here. Ibuka, T. Higgins, or Wan'Dale. I'm going. You picked T. Higgins earlier. I'm going T. Higgins again in this spot. You did also pick Wan'Dale, but I'm going to assume you like Higgins more than Wan'Dale.
I do. I have T. Higgins at 19 this week. So I'm higher than most people, and I'm going to stick with it. I think they're going to throw the ball a ton, man.
Yeah, same here. In terms of the quarterback position, Sam Darnold, Aaron Rodgers, or Russell Wilson. If he had asked this question after week one, we would have laughed Russell Wilson out of the room after last week. I don't know if we have the same tune. Matt, who you go with here? I think I'll say this before I kick it to you. I think I immediately rule out Sam Darnold here. Personally, you know what? I think I'm gonna go Aaron Rodgers. I think it's close. Rodgers going up against the New England Patriots at New England. That's a 1:00 game. Russell Wilson, of course, is the Sunday night game, which everybody's very excited about. But yeah, I think I'm going Rodgers here. Slightly.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. That was it. I was just saying slightly.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Rodgers too. I'm with you. I wouldn't even consider Sam Darnold in this situation. I mean, he's taking on the Saints, so he could easily have 2 touchdowns, or that game could easily be over pretty quick, and then just kind of run the ball.
Sure.
Kenneth Walker looked better this past week. And then at the same time, Russ, you mentioned Huff. At the beginning of the season, we wouldn't have talked about this. We would have wrote him off completely. Last weekend, in the same game, ton of deep bomb touchdowns. I don't think that's going to happen again. I think the Chiefs are a tougher defense than Dallas is. So give me Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. And we do have another one here. Another $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Overcome. He says, thoughts on starting Olave with Seattle's starting safeties and corner Witherspoon out, or starting T. Higgins?
Ooh.
I keep pitching every question to Matt right away, so I'll just jump in here and let him think. I'm gonna go Chris Olave here because I mean, you do mention the injuries, and Spencer Rattler, for what it's worth, he is throwing the ball a lot. I believe he's top 5 in pass attempts, if not mistaken. I'll have to fact check that, but I think I'd go Olave in this spot, but I can feel the hesitancy in this super chat, and I completely understand it. I'd go Olave, and I'd close my eyes, cross my fingers, reach for a pair of rosary beads. Matt?
Yeah, I'm going to make it more difficult because I'm going to stick with T. Higgins.
Cool.
I just don't trust the Saints offense. He did have 10 targets this past week, 6 catches. Week 1, he had 13 targets. So I get the involvement for Olave, but I just think it's so capped. I mean, even with all those targets, he only scored 8.9 points and 8.4 points. So I would limit expectations, whereas T. Higgins, I thought he looked good this past week. Again, I think Browning's going to throw the ball all over the place. The matchup is frankly terrible, and the Vikings have a bunch of people coming back that are going to be playing, so I get it if you're scared off. Olave is probably the safer play with a better floor, but I'm chasing the ceiling with T. Higgins.
And by the way, just rolling back that Spencer Rattler is currently 6th in terms of pass attempts. Would have been top 5 if you exclude Thursday Night Football. But
okay.
Whatever. So
there you go.
Glad I got that out of the way. I'm sure everybody really wanted to know that answer. All right, let's get back over here. Matt, where were we?
I think we are right here. No, we did that.
Oh, no, we did that one.
Hang on.
Oh no,
We're
we
right
had Mr. Out of the Box was the last one. Look at me. I found it at the same time as you. So
Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Jay Too Nice. Thank you for being so nice. He wants to he's saying start Sutton, other options, Marvin Harrison Jr., Hollywood Brown, Cooper Kupp, or Cedric Tillman. Yeah, I think I still go Cortland Sutton here. I mentioned my frustration with Marvin Harrison, so he's clearly not the option. I would say if you're picking another one of these names, it's probably Hollywood Brown. But no, I think I go Cortland Sutton here.
I would too. I mean, not a great week this past week, but I think he's going to get better. It's a tough matchup taking on the Chargers. That defensive back unit is really good, really strong, but I don't think Sutton will be held down 2 weeks in a row like that. And Hoff's dog totally agrees with what I have to say.
Yeah, he agrees with the Sutton take. He's also, I'm going to rip off one toe bean at a time. That's how we're going to do that. Matt, why don't you ask the next question while I mute this so the dog can shut up?
Sure. Well, we've got another super chat from Alfredo, so I'm going to jump to that before we get back to the line. It says full PPR Dak or Mayfield this week. I'm going to go with Dak. I have Dak ranked really, really high. I think I have him at 4 or 5 this week. So I think he's a great play. Chicago's past defense has not been that impressive to me. Chicago as a whole hasn't really been that impressive. Their offense is good enough to cook Dallas's defense to kind of make this a shootout. So I'm going to chase those points.
Yeah, this is a nice week 3 problem to have. I think both quarterbacks finished within a few points of one another. I am also going to go to Dak Prescott. I had mentioned how much I love that matchup. It's one of the highest over-unders on the week. Um, if I see Baker Mayfield outscore Dak, am I going to fall out of my chair? Obviously not. Baker's emerging as one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, period. But yeah, I'm still going to go Dak here. But again, they'll be within a few points of each other.
Yeah. Thanks, Alfredo.
Thank you, Alfredo. And yeah. All right. So Scott comes in here in a couple of deep PPR leagues debating on Gainwell or Calvin Austin in my flex. I am in a similar situation, not with Gainwell, but I do. It's Calvin Austin and somebody else. But I'm going with Calvin Austin, so I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and tell you, Scott, to go with Calvin Austin as well. Matt, what says you?
I am also in a similar situation, and I'm starting Kenny Gainwell. I think that he's been involved enough that I'll take the floor. I mean, 4 targets week 1, 5 targets week 2, had 5 and 7 carries in each of those weeks as well. So 10 opportunities, and I'm just going to take what I can get. Calvin Austin, I mean, he could certainly make a play. He might be in Rodgers' doghouse, or he might get the touchdown.
That's right. You never know with Rodgers. It just depends on what side of bed he gets out of in the morning. I will mention we got a considerable amount of people watching. If you send in a super chat, you do cut the line. Also, feel free to like the show. Helps us out immensely and takes 2 seconds for you. Michael Lopez says, morning, guys. Are we liking Hampton over Judkins, Monty, or Tootin? Already having to start Swift, 12 team full point per reception. Obviously, good call on Swift. No, I'm starting Judkins over all those names you mentioned. We mentioned earlier, I'm not sure when you came in here, Michael, but I'm at the point where I need to see it from Hampton before I'm putting him out there, especially over Judkins. Matt, what says you?
I'm going to go with Monty.
Okay.
And it's close between him and Judkins, like really, really close for me. But I'm with you, Hampton. We need to see it. Tootin, we need to see more involvement. I mean, he's a great playmaker in space, but I don't think he's going to be a week-to-week play. But I like Monty. If he can land in the end zone, it's a great week for you. I can tell you that right now. Whereas Judkins, I just don't know how much we're going to see that workload uptick. I think it is going to go up, but I like Monty.
Yeah, and if this does help you, Michael, I mean, Monty is my close runner-up. So if you want to flip a coin between those two. He did also pop in here and said also JCM over Henderson. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Joseph said, I see you with the Terry shirt. Yeah, he's got the Terry shirt. That's right. That is correct. That he does. Dustin comes in here. Thoughts on DeAndre Swift? He's been the worst start sit for me so far. Lost a week sitting him. That's funny. And then lost a week with starting him. Yeah, that's fancy football for you. Feels like he has a Joe Mixon-esque type of season. Good comp in terms of the inconsistencies. I like him this week. Matt will answer. I think he's in agreement with me on that one. But I also think you're right, Dustin. I do think it's not always going to be an easy ride.
Yeah, I totally agree. Not much to add. We did get another super, but I don't see the question with it.
Was that the one from Alfredo that you pulled up?
From Robert Simmons. He sends $1.99. So Robert, I found his question. Here we go.
Oh, good. Of course you did.
What should we expect from RJ Harvey and Travion Henderson this week? Either startable in the flex position.
If I have to start one of them, I'm going Travion Henderson.
Yep.
I don't love either option this week, so I'm curious, Robert, if you have other options to go with. But if those are the two that are sitting in front of me this week, I'd go Travion Henderson against the Steelers.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think he's got more involvement than RJ Harvey. The problem for Harvey is Dobbins continues to look solid. I mean, he looks like a good player, and he's got that role. It's also a tough matchup with the Chargers, whereas Travion Henderson takes on Pittsburgh. Not the toughest defense, certainly stout enough, but I lean Travion Henderson. I think he's got the better upside and probably a better floor.
Yep, totally agree. All right, we'll get back to the other questions here, which we are on Jelly of the Month, which always makes me think of Christmas Vacation, of course. Love or Mariota, 6 point per passing touchdown and 1 point each for a rushing first down. I'm going Jordan Love here, and I'm going pretty comfortably. I mean, listen, when Mariota's got these stints where he's starter, he's given us some weeks where we go, wow, maybe Mariota's a thing. And then the next few weeks, he shows us that he's soft like baby poop, and then we know what to do from there. I'm going Jordan Love this week, though.
You have to. It's
Yeah.
Jordan Love. As much as I want to say Mariota because it'd be fun, I'm a Washington fan. He's going to do one of two things. He's either going to come out there and play fantastic and get you 30 points, or he's going to play terrible and get you 3. So go with Jordan Love.
There you go. Good times. He's just letting us know. Oh, we do have a super chat just rolled in. He's letting us know my team now is one flex, Hertz, Gibbs, Jacobs, Tet, Rome, like that. Yeah. I forget which question this was in reference to, but I do like the team.
Yeah, I like this team, how it's set up.
Yeah.
So that's who I would start.
Yeah. But Matt, do you want to put up the super chat? This way I'll just keep this in line, actually.
Yeah. Vic says, hey guys, I got an offer for Ladd and Kyron for BTJ in Hampton. Hoff, since you've been kicking everything to me, now I get to kick it to you first. Would you take this deal?
And I actually have a quick answer here. I'm not gonna hem and haw. I'm not gonna click things and looking for stuff. No, I'm going Ladd McConkey. I'm going Kyron Williams here. Brian Thomas, better days are ahead. I was actually looking at him in DFS today because the targets are there. Just the numbers aren't coming in. But Vic, if you've been watching the show thus far, Hampton's a name that's come up quite a bit. I need to see it before I can believe it. I'll keep saying that until the show ends. So no, I would hang on to Ladd, and I'm also one of the biggest Kyron truthers that you'll find. So
true.
Yeah,
that's totally true. And you know what, Hoff, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to take Ladd and Kyron in this situation. Ladd, it's been a slow start. This week he takes on the Chargers, and you might think, well, that's a tough matchup. Or excuse me, he takes on the Broncos.
right.
But Surtain is probably going to be matched up more on QJ than he'll actually be matched up with Ladd. So I kind of expect Ladd to have a bounce back game this week. Kyron is this much safer play over Hampton. It's not even close. BTJ, he's looked a little soft to me. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I guess so. He did have alligator arms on a couple of those throws, so that's a problem. Selfishly, before we get back to the questions here, I'm in a super flex league, Matt. I was on my morning walk this morning. Obviously, I'm starting Lamar Jackson. I have Justin Herbert or Mac Jones. Am I too much of a homer to be thinking about Mac Jones because the Cardinals secondary is that banged up and he looked good against the Saints?
I'm going to tell you are. And
you going to tell me? That's fine.
And I mean that with the most love possible. I think
that's why I asked you. Yeah.
Herbert's played really well in tough matchups, and so I'm not really scared of him playing Denver. It might cap the upside a little bit, but this team gave up a ton of points to Daniel Jones last week, so I don't think it's crazy for Herbert to come out there and play well.
Sure. Yeah, maybe I'll switch it back. We'll see.
I think I'm going to win. Trust your gut.
Yeah. I mean, I'm already 2-0, so we got Black Train 7920 saying, should I start Cedric Tillman or Deontay Thornton for my final PPR spot for a deep roster?
This is Tillman.
I'm going Tillman here. Yeah. Tillman is an easy answer. All right, cool. Tucker Kraft or Travis Kelce. This coming from Jenny Whipple. We did have the scare on. I mentioned it earlier in the show. Tucker Kraft on Thursday. We were all fearing the worst. Now it looks like he's expected to play as of right now. I'm gonna go Travis Kelce just on the thought of is Tucker Kraft, is he gonna be not a decoy, but is he not gonna be used as much as he normally would because of the injury scare? I'm just double checking. When do they play again? Oh, okay. The Packers play at 1 against Cleveland. Yeah, I think I'd go Kelce here just because of the concern.
Yeah, I would go Kelce too. I mean, I don't want to sit there and stress the entire game of Tucker Kraft gets hit the wrong way in the first quarter and he's out for the rest of the game. This team also has several other tight ends that they use and keep involved. Luke Musgraves has been absolutely serviceable when he's been given the opportunity. So I kind of lean Kelce. I think it's a safer play. Kraft, we'll know more after this week. How serious was that injury? Is he able to just be fired up as we go forward? But Kelce's the play.
Do we have another question here? Not the oath coming in. Would you start Pollard or Ricky Pearsall in a full point per reception? No, half point. I apologize. In a flex spot, half point per reception. If this was full point, I would consider Ricky more, but I'd probably still go Pollard. So now that it's half point, I am definitely going with 20 Pollard here.
Yeah,
Would be my take.
totally agree. Everything you said.
Yep.
We did get another super chat, so I'm going to jump over
Yep.
that if you want to hold our spot.
Yeah, I got it.
James O'Shea with $4.99. We appreciate it. James says half PPR. Need one wide receiver from this group: Keenan Allen, Wandale Robinson, Josh Downs, Diggs, Hopkins, Ellick, and Tillman. Gross, but thank you.
It's not that gross.
It could be worse.
We've got worse. Yeah. Thank you for the super chat and the very generic profile picture you have there. What am I going with here? I'll say this: half point PPR. It's down to Keenan Allen or Diggs for me. I'm gonna sneak Keenan Allen in as much as I want to say Diggs. I'm gonna sneak in Keenan Allen here. If it was full point, maybe I'd consider Wandell a little bit more. I know you talked about that, Matt, earlier in the show, but I think I'll go Keenan here slightly.
You know, I can't believe I'm going to say this, and it's going to burn me, but I'm going Wandale.
All right.
I mean, 18 targets in the first 2 weeks. I can't help but feel like they're going to have to move the chains, and they're going to have to score some points in this game. And that just bodes well for Wandale. Maybe there's a lot of pressure on Malik Neighbors, and he's the one that's getting frustrated with double coverage. So I like Wandale. I'm going to chase it. Hopefully,
I don't hate it. I don't hate the call. I'm just I would go. Yeah, I'm going to go Keenan here slightly, but again, James, appreciate the super chat. Getting back to Apple's season, Michael Penix or Russell Wilson this week. I'm going big Penix energy up against the Carolina Panthers in this one. I do think he'll produce some points. I do think I'm going to even say this. I think it's going to be a frustrating first half. Second half is where he gets his fantasy points. But that's where I'm going.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Penix as well. So not much to add.
Yeah. So there you go. All right. As we keep on moving, Ryan says half point per reception. You see, Pete would try and pronounce that last name because that's just what Pete does. I'm not doing that. Nope. But Ryan wants to know half point PPR. Need to start 3. BTJ, JSN, Roma Dunze, or Mike Evans. I know BTJ has been frustrating. Matt kind of alluded to maybe a little bit of softness, perhaps, but I still think I'm going to put him in here in that spot. I just think we're due for a game where those targets finally amount to something. So I'm going to go BTJ. I'm going to go JSN. The last one here is a little bit tougher of the pick. I think I'm going to squeak in Roma Dunze here. I hate saying that. I feel like I could be wrong on this last one, but I'm feeling pretty confident about BTJ and JSN. Matt, where are you at with this question?
Yeah, it's down to those last 2 names for me as well. And I went to my rankings. I've adjusted them a little bit today, and it's not going to help me. I have Mike Evans at 24, and I have a Dunze at 25. So I guess I'll go with Mike Evans just based on that, but it's really dang close.
Yeah, I know I keep saying this, but I think I'm going to lean on the potential for the points in this Cowboys-Bears matchup. I mean, the Cowboys defense, I know everybody's focused on the Bears defense, which has been putrid, but Cowboys haven't been much better. So I think that's the way I would go there slightly. Dylan wants to know, let's have a day. Sure, let's do that. 3 questions, 3 leagues, all full point per reception. Sounds like the start of a riddle to me. Pick 2. Juwan Johnson, Tucker Kraft, Judkins, Ibuka. He's worried about a snap count. Totally get it. So he needs 2 out of those, and then we'll get to the defense, and then he's got a tight end question. I'm gonna go Judkins, and I'm gonna go Juwan Johnson. Again, I referenced it earlier. I like the Juwan Johnson matchup. If something happens to Tucker Kraft, which Matt, you mentioned in an earlier question, that could sink your day. So I'm going Judkins and I'm going Juwan here. What says you though? Are you going Ibuka?
I want to, but I don't want to put Ibuka over Juwan. And is that crazy to say? So I'm with you. Give me Juwan and Judkins.
I mean, if it's crazy, then we're crazy together. So
that's true.
There you go. You did have the defense. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Indianapolis at Tennessee. Was that Washington versus Las Vegas or the Chargers versus Denver?
I pulled up Pete's rankings here, and
Perfect.
Pete's rankings would say that we need to roll with Las Vegas. Or excuse me, I'm sorry, with the Chargers. Is that an option for him to pick up?
I mean, he says it's the Chargers versus Denver. I assume he's talking about the first team in each one is the defense he can choose.
Pete's rankings would say the Chargers.
I like the Commanders more, but I also Pete is our DST guru, so I would honestly say, even with my pick being different, I would still go with Pete because Pete has been crushing defense.
He has. That's what I was about to say. He's been really good at it, and I would agree with you. My non-defensive brain would say Washington just because we find ways to mess things up all the time. And I do feel like this is going to be the game for Genty where he looks better because Washington has really struggled to tackle so far. Frankie Louvu has been getting blown up, and that's not really, the history of what he's played like for Washington. He's been the one laying the boom on people in the past couple of weeks. He's been run over by Cam Scattaboo. So I don't know.
Michael Lopez popping in here quick says, hit that like button, 10 likes, 40 views. Yeah, right now we got 63 people watching, 27 likes. So, yeah, feel free to get in there. And since this feels a little dated, this was 9:40. We're behind, but that's okay. Feel free to send in a super chat to cut the line. We'll try and make these a little bit faster, but, we just try and give some context here. Jenny Whipple coming back in, Drake May or Daniel Jones. This one, I'm going Drake May. I mentioned earlier, I like Drake May this week. I like both guys, but I like May more.
Drake May. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Ryan says, in one of my 10-man leagues, should I start Tony Pollard, J.K. Dobbins, Quentin Johnson, Wan'Dale Robinson, or Ja'Cory Krusky-Merritt? Oh, Matt, he is putting you in a difficult position.
No kidding.
Your boy Bill Krusky-Merritt or your brand new boy, Wan'Dale Robinson? I would say I would personally go Bill Krusky-Merritt here. I'm curious if this is full point per reception, Ryan, but I would go Bill here. If it's full point, maybe I go Wan'Dale or Quentin Johnson. But Matt, where are you going here?
I'm between Pollard and Bill. I have them back to back, but I'm going to go with Bill. I feel it this week, man. It's coming.
All right. I hope so. I got him in a couple lineups. Greg coming in saying, hey, fellas. What's up, Greg? Simon says, pick 2 full point per reception. JCM, Golden, Juwan Jennings, Judkins, and Pacheco. Ooh, this is actually a good one. Picking 2 full point per reception. I'm just double checking. Is that game in Vegas, Matt?
It is in Washington.
Oh, it's in okay, so that's going to be a 1:00. Just double checking that because I was going to go with something similar about Juwan Jennings and the insurance policy, but I'm going to go Judkins here. I'm going to go both running backs. I'm going to go Judkins, and I'm going to say Bill Krusky-Merritt. I think because again, I'm a big time of game, and if you can hedge it and then get Jennings in there, but in this case, I think I just go with both running backs, even though I do like Golden this week. As well. That's why that's a good question for me.
That's everything I would say too. Totally agree.
No consideration for Pacheco for you at all?
No, he's looked terrible. Okay. That running game has looked terrible. I'm not trusting it.
Just double checking since we didn't mention his name. We'll just throw him out there, give him a bone. We gave him a bone and smacked him with it. Scott White comes in. Keenan Allen, T. Higgins, Jerry Jeudy as a wide receiver 3 in a standard league. I'm going to go T. Higgins here. Yeah, I'll go T.
T. Higgins for sure.
You're there. Okay, you're there as well. We got Patrick S. coming in here. 0.5 point per reception. Need to start 2. Pickens, Ibuka, Sutton. I'm going Pickens, and I'm going Sutton here again. Just the injury for Ibuka this week. I'd rather just roll with the other 2.
Yep. Well said, Hoff. That's the one.
I am very good at well saying things sometimes. Sometimes I suck. Ryan comes in. Is Juwan Johnson a good Juwan Johnson? It's Juwan Johnson, sir. Is he a good start this week, or should I add Jake Ferguson, Jonnu Smith, Chig, and Conquest? I'm going. I've mentioned it multiple times, Matt. I'm curious because you made a face like you might have a different answer here, but Juwan Johnson is my answer here. Great matchup in terms of against the tight ends here, so that's where I'm going.
I don't disagree, but I love Jake Ferguson this week, and the fact that
Okay.
he can be added, I would love to know what's going on with these tight ends in your league. So I would start Ferguson over Jawan this week, but Jawan's been great. So don't get me wrong, what Hop said, he's a great play too. Either way, you're splitting hairs. I have him back to back really high in my rankings.
Now Derek came in here with this question, but then he said first he says play 3, but then he said play 2. So we'll just give him a third for the hell of it in case. But we'll definitely tell him who our 2 are in case that's what he really meant. Ibuka, Ramondre, Bill, and Travis Hunter. Again, he said play 3, but then he said play 2. But which 2 would we take? And then let's add a third. I would go. Actually, it's easy for the first 2 for me. I go Bill Krosky Merritt, and I go Travis Hunter. If I'm giving you a third, I'm going to slip Ramondre Stevenson in there. Maybe I'm disrespecting Ibuka too much, but Ramondre did pretty well last week. So that would be my third if you are doing 3. But Bill and Travis.
I'm going to go Bill Ibuka as my first 2, and then Hunter as my 3. But I have Hunter just behind Ibuka, so it's close for me. You mentioned Ramondre had a good week, but at the same time, that deep bomb wheel route he caught was actually intended to be a play for Travion Henderson. That's worth noting.
Whoopsie daisy. All right.
So we did get super chat, so I'm going to jump over to that.
Oh, yeah, get in there.
And then we'll come back to where we are. Scotty C, $2 super chat. We appreciate Scott. Says half PPR flex, Hampton, Dobbins, or Pearsall.
This is where I'm going, Ricky Pearsall. Half point per reception. Again, I mentioned what I said about Hampton. I need to see it. Dobbins would be the closest one for me, but with Ricky Pearsall and Jawan Jennings being as banged up as he is, and the Cardinals secondary being as banged up as they are, I will go Pearsall here. Even though I think it's going to be like a slice and dice, he's not going to give you these huge plays, but the receptions and the yards will be there at the end of the day. Hopefully he gets in the touch in the end zone.
Yeah, I get that play. It being a half PPR makes me lean Dobbins. If it was full PPR, I would go Pearsall. But I just like the opportunity for Dobbins. I think he's going to get 13, 14 carries, probably 3 or 4 targets. But if this were full PPR, I would absolutely go with Pearsall for everything you said.
Yeah, the half point does put Dobbins into more consideration for me. Yes. If we're getting back, and thank you for the super chat, Scotty. Very nice of you, sir. Let's go into here. Tron Force says Mac Jones is currently in my lineup. Attaboy. But considering Mariota, who's the better week 3 start out of Mac Jones, Mariota, Russ, Darnold, Penix, Wentz? Well, I mean, to the start of your question, I would do Mac Jones over Mariota. The back end of the question, though, if you have all these other options, I think I go Michael Penix over all of them would be mine.
Comfortably, too.
Yeah. Going up against the Panthers, I think I would take that. So, and I would even consider Russ over Mac Jones, perhaps, maybe. Do I hate Justin Herbert too much this week? Evidently. All right. Tron Forrest comes in here, needs a wide receiver and a flex this week. PPR, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, Hunter, Cup, Jalen Warren, Bill Krosky, Merritt, Wan'Dale Robinson, or Troy Franklin. He's a wide receiver and a flex. DK Metcalf has been frustrating. I'm going to go with Matt's boys. I'm going with Bill Krosky, Merritt, and I'm going with Wan'Dale here.
Wow.
Those would be my plays. Because it's PPR. And, we talked about Wan'Dale and the targets and PPR. I need to see it from DK Metcalf. It really hasn't panned out for me. And I think McLaurin, we're just a week or 2 before he really hits his stride and gets back to the Terry McLaurin we all know and love.
I feel like it's DK, and I'm with you on McLaurin. I think another week to get him, get his sea legs, if you will. And the name for me in this group is Jalen Warren. Like, I have to play him. I can't keep him on my bench. He's looked too good over Bill.
Okay.
And he's been really, really involved. I think it's close between the 2 of them. Then I'm stuck between Bill and DK. You mentioned Wan'Dale. Wan'Dale's someone I've talked a lot about in PPR situations, but I like Jacory over Wan'Dale. But I think I'm going to go DK over Bill, and it's close for me.
Okay, that's fair enough. We'll go into Mike Duke over here. Says Wicks or Hunter in PPR. He also has Troy Franklin. I'm going Hunter, and I'm going Hunter comfortably.
Yep.
Okay. Full point per reception. This sounds like this is going to be another easy one. This one coming from Michael. Full point per reception, Flex Pacheco or Diggs. I'm going Stephon Diggs here easily.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. Swift playing through injury. Still him over Terry, question mark. Yeah. Whatever that question was. I mean, yeah. Just on the surface, yes.
Yes.
This is the first time I've had her in here asking a question. I always mess up her first name. Alicia or Elisa? I think it's Alicia. I think it was.
I thought it was Alicia, but
no, it's definitely not
not
that. I think it's Alicia. She'll correct us at some point. She's also, by the way, in our Discord. So at some point I will add the Discord link into the chat. You can join our Discord. We got a whole bunch of stuff in there. And she just said, don't forget to hit the like button. So I probably messed up her first name, and she's nice and asked people to hit the like button. There you go.
We're working on it. We'll work.
Yeah. Mr. Out of the Box. Kyler Murray's trash. MHJ deserves better. Agreed. Also said McBride deserves better. So apparently the Arizona Cardinals deserve better than Kyler Murray. And I don't disagree. They're going to lose today. Oliver Green coming in, half point per reception. Edbuka or Wandell or Higgins and Darnold, Rodgers, Russ. I feel like we got this one already.
Yeah, he sent a super chat after this, so we got this one.
So we got that. All right. We got a morning gang in here. Hello. Follow Rob Thomas. Is that Rob Thomas of Matchbox 20? Probably not.
It is.
Sweet. I saw you at the Garden, man. LA says Swift or Jalen Warren. This is an interesting one, Matt, since you were waxing poetic about Jalen Warren earlier. You weren't really. I'm being dramatic. What says you? Are you
it's Warren. Again, I've talked about the opportunity for Swift and why I want to put him in a bunch of lineups, but I would much rather play Warren over him. Warren will be the safer play and probably the higher ceiling play. I mean, again, he's been really involved. He is his backfield. It's worth noting Caleb Johnson looks like he's going to be a healthy scratch.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, there we go. We're going to keep rolling with the questions here. If you guys have any super chats, feel free to send them in. We'll do at least another half hour here, right, Matt? We'll just see where it goes. Kel's 22, Ricky Pearsall, Adams, A. Adams. Is that A. Adams? Or did he mean D. Adams?
I think he means D. Adams.
He probably means D. Adams. Pick 2. And I am going to go with D. Adams, and I will go Ricky Pearsall here over Ibuka. If Ibuka had no injury designation entering this week, if I wasn't skittish about that, then it would be Adams and Ibuka. But because of that, I'll go Pearsall slightly.
And I'm skittish on the 49ers offense, so I'm going to go Adams and Ibuka.
You son of a... I'm kidding. No, that's fine. No, because, to me, though, Pearsall is a little tricky if it's anything outside of PPR.
Yeah.
Because it's like, a touchdown isn't guaranteed. You really need him to slice and dice a defense. So I get it. I'm teasing just because I'm wearing a Niners shirt. It's fine. Again, if there was no injury designation, it's Ibuka. Can't imagine how many times you've been asked this, but Romo over Schrader kicker this week. Yeah, kicker question. God bless. Yeah, I am going Romo. I told everybody to go Romo. Then they got rid of Mr. KO0. Young Ho Koo is now gone. There's a little bit of kicker news for you. Why are you laughing for? Yeah, I'm going Romo. So there you go. I do love me some Schrader though. John comes in, says, "Sup, fellas? Team is Kyler, Bucky, James Conner, Eek, CD, Tyreek, Laporta, Chuba, with Debo, Ricky, Tootin. Wow, you got a lot, and Ertz on my bench. Wouldn't trade Chuba for BTJ. Given that James Conner is your second running back you've named here, no, I don't think I would do that personally. I think I'd rather have Chuba. He's not a sexy name, but he's just consistent in there, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure your team can afford it. That's the big issue here. Now, if there's another running back on your bench, maybe, but as it sits, you need him too bad.
Yeah, I agree. What do we got here? We got Tron in here. Better flex out of Ibuka. Did he answer this? Yeah, he asked this one too. We got that one.
Yeah,
I believe. Yeah, we got that. Kel says Pollard, Genty, JMO, Troy Franklin. Pick one for the flex, half point PPR. He's starting Jonathan Taylor and Jordan Mason as his RB1 and 2. That's a good thing for you. I'm gonna go Pollard here. Genty is another one who's just been weird. Not above expectations yet. So yeah.
Genty. I said it before.
Ooh.
Washington has really struggled to tackle in these first 2 weeks. Genty has not looked great, but he's still running over people. I think that's going to be a problem today. I think Genty has a better day than he's looked thus far this year.
Mr. Miyagi, thanks for the memories, man. Wax on, wax off. Are we worried about Jennings? My replacements are starting on the early slate. Can slot Diggs in for Jennings full point per reception? Yeah, if your other guys are in the early slate, then yes, I would go with Diggs. Jennings has done this before where he doesn't practice and all of a sudden he plays and he tears it up. But yeah, I think I'd go Diggs here. If it was 4:00, I'd have a different answer.
Yep. Unless we get news, that's what you got to do.
Bingo. All right. Kells said Jordan Mason, J-Mo, Travion Henderson, Troy Franklin, and a flex. It's Jordan Mason by a mile for me.
Yep.
Yeah. So there we go. MHJ or Chris Olave coming in from Kenjo. I'm going Chris Olave here.
Chris Olave. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't trust Marvin Harrison, man. Just for the life of me. Dobbs, Golden, or Shaheed. We referenced Matthew Golden. I think we're both going to continue to ride the lightning on that one. Correct, Matt?
Yeah. Let's make it Golden. Let's
right.
say it with our chest.
Loud noises with everything in caps from Marcus Banks. Don't worry, Matt. I won't scream it into the microphone. But he says, help me, please. BTJ, Mike Evans, Ricky Pearsall, Adunze, start 2.
Also has Pickens. You skipped Pickens' name there.
Oh, I did skip it. Oh, geez. Yeah. Why did I do that for? Because actually Pickens is probably one of my favorite parts of this question. I'm going Pickens, and I know I've mentioned Pearsall's name a lot, but again, I just think BTJ is going to do something with these targets. I don't want to be on the outside looking in on that when it happens. Yeah, give me BTJ and George Pickens.
Yeah, it's tough because I mentioned before that I have Pickens and Evans back to back. But I'm going to go Mike Evans and Brian Thomas. I have Mike Evans ahead, so I'll stick with my rankings.
Perfect. Robert says, we got that one already. See, Dante Trombetta, full point reception. Who's calling me? I don't want to answer you right now. Leave me alone. There you go. Gave you the F. Dante wants to know full point per reception. Evans, DK, Chase Brown. So initially, I'd like Chase Brown here. Does PPR change that for you, Matt, or are you not even in on Chase Brown, period, compared to these two names?
No, I'm going to take Chase Brown just because he is the backfield there. And like I said, I think that the Bengals are going to trust Browning to do it. He's going to get 10 to 15 carries, and he'll probably get 5 or so targets. So I'm going to go with Chase Brown, regardless if it's half PPR or PPR, frankly.
Yeah. Again, guys, feel free to send in a super chat. We got about a little less than a half hour left. That will get you to cut the line. We're backed up, but we just try to get to as many of these as we can. Michael says, assuming JSN plays today, pick a flex and RB2, half point per reception. K9, Jordan Mason, Chase Brown, Adunze, leaning K9 with no Sharps and Adunze against a bad Dallas secondary. Thanks, guys. So you're saying pick a flex and RB2. I'm going Jordan Mason over K9.
Yeah.
And I've been against the Seahawks backfield for sure. And then, so assuming Jason plays today, so I guess he's starting. I'm assuming he plays. Because flex, I do like Adunze here. What are your thoughts there? Because he needs the RB2 and then he needs a flex. You could always go Chase Brown, but
yeah, I'm gonna go Jordan Mason and Chase Brown, and the half PPR is the reason why. If it was full PPR, I would be leaning Adunze.
You know what? Yeah,
but I like the running backs here.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip that inside with you because of the half point per reception. I glossed over that even though I read it. So there you go. My reading comprehension is sick. Iggy said, I don't know if he asked this already, but we'll just go through it quick. Do I put Golden in my lineup? PPR, my wide receivers are Metcalf, Neighbors, and Sutton. No. I do like Golden this week, but not over those names. I would, if it was anybody, it would be Metcalf, but still no. Thomas wants to know half point per reception, 2 running backs, 1 flex. Hampton, Mason, Pollard, Chubb, DK, or Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams, my boy. Peter, where you at, Peter? I'm going Mason, and I'm going Javonte Williams. I think Javonte Williams is going to keep getting opportunities. Fantasy is going to keep coming in. He's going to have 20 points every week. No, but I'm taking him, and I'm taking Jordan Mason.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Pollard would be the other name I would consider.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to add. Is this 2 running backs and 1 flex? If so, then I would probably do Pollard over DK.
Yes, if that's the case, then yeah, Pollard would be the flex.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry. Again, reading comprehension. Sick.
Hey,
This
there's
is
a
why
lot
you're
of
here.
questions in here, man.
There
I
it
get
is.
it.
Full point per reception. I don't know if we got this yet. I keep asking that.
We hit that one. Yeah.
We did hit that one. All right. So let's get to DXRKZ. There you go. Instead of pronouncing it, I'll just read out your letters. In PPR, AJ Brown or Pickens, Love or Goff, Kraft or Pitts. I will tell you, death, taxes, and me telling you to not start Kyle Pitts. I will never do it because I would never do it, so I'm never going to tell you to do it. I don't give a damn about Tucker Kraft. If he's out there on crutches, I'm going Tucker Kraft over Kyle Pitts. In terms of the quarterback, I'm going backwards here, but I'm going to go Goff over Love. I love that Monday night matchup. A lot of points there. And then A.J. Brown or Pickens. This is actually an interesting one because A.J. Brown's been frustrating. I'm going to go Pickens over Brown.
Ooh.
Yep.
Ooh. Pete,
yeah,
are you listening?
Yeah.
That's conviction.
That just happened.
That happened. I'm going to go A.J. Brown, Goff, Kraft. So
okay. Perfect. Let me see. We did get a question. How do we feel about Daniel Jones this week? But we like him. We like him. We answered that kind of in a way. One thing we did not answer from I'm assuming Johan. Yeah, let's go Johan with the Justice League logo. Hi guys, should I start at Buka or Myers? I'm going to go Myers here. This one.
I have them literally back to back my rankings 25, 26. I'm going to go at Buka.
I feel like every question you have guys back to back, but yeah, I'm going Myers. Mando with a cute picture of a puppy dog wearing headphones. Thank you, sir. Full point per reception. Start 3. DK, Stevenson, Swift, Hampton, or Jennings. Crazy leaning Swift, Stevenson, and DK. No. I wish the Niner game wasn't at 4:00.
Yeah, I really would play Jennings over Stevenson, but it's a risk. Like, unless you have someone else you could throw in there.
Because I definitely want to play Swift over Stevenson. And so that, I say that because I believe the Cowboy Bears game is at 4:00, if I'm not mistaken, which is the same time as the Niner game. Yeah. I hate this question with all my heart. I'm going Stevenson, Swift, and DK reluctantly.
I would entertain swapping Stevenson for Jennings, and then, if you don't have a decision, then you could use Hampton at the 305 mark between Hampton and Jennings.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll do that, but I don't like it. I would say this. I would do your philosophy, but if Jennings doesn't play and I'm starting Hampton, I am pissed.
Yeah, true.
I'm not checking that scoreboard. That's it. Ollie Gordon Truther, Uncle Piff, good friend of the show. Ibuka, Franklin, Scattaboo, Hawkinson, PPR, tight end premium though.
Hawk has been a little bit disappointing thus far this season. I mean, let me pull up his box scores: 3 points and 1.7 points, 4 targets week 1, 3 targets this past week. Takes on the Bengals. Maybe it's a shootout, or maybe the backup quarterback plays terrible and he's not used. So, oof.
I'll go Emeka. I know I've been worried about the injury all day, but with this particular question, I think I'll go Ibuka.
I would too.
If Hawkinson was looking anything like he was pre-injury, obviously it would be a slam dunk Hawk, but yeah. He did go on and say, and Kraft, he needs 2. So if he needs 2, then I go Kraft too. I go Buka and Kraft.
God, am I crazy to say Buka and Hawkinson? Is that crazy?
Over Kraft? I don't know if it's crazy, but I don't like it. But
I'm just scared of Kraft, man. Like, it feels like one of those things where he goes out there, he gets hit one hard time, and then they rest him for the game.
Totally get it.
You're right. The responsible decision is Kraft.
Marcus came in. I guess this is also from an early question. He said tight end Travis or Johnson. I'm not sure why he's yelling the tight ends' names at us, but I'm going to go Juwan Johnson.
Juwan Johnson.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Nathaniel came in and said bench London so I could start CD, Rome, and Tet McMillan. Somewhere Pete's balls just tingled at the name of Tet McMillan. I'm gonna go bench London. I would do London over Rome.
Totally
Yeah.
agree. It was not a great week this past week, but week 1 he had 15 targets, guys. Come on. He's a great player.
Dan with Dan just I'm sorry, Dan, but you put everything in like separate things. This is like when somebody texts you like 8 times when 2 will do. She said my wide receivers BTJ, Ladd, Rice, Olave, reinforcements on the way. Is this from an earlier question? He's got this here. Pick one wide receiver, Pearsall, Ibuka, McLaurin, PPR. I'm going Pearsall here. I kept saying if it's PPR, I'm going Pearsall. Here we are.
I'm going to go with Ibuka.
You son of a bitch. All right.
Yeah.
There you go. You really don't like the Niners offense this week, huh?
I don't. I don't trust him, man.
You want to talk
It's
about
a whole
it?
thing.
We have no
No.
time.
Well, we got a super chat, Hoff. Sorry. We'll take this one. But
we'll do this one quick. Yeah. Montgomery or Tyler Warren PPR. I'm actually curious for your answer here, Matt, because I know you mentioned Monty earlier, but I'm going to go Tyler Warren here. I like what I've seen. I expect, another good week from Daniel Jones before that offense comes back down to earth, at least in terms of quarterback. What says you?
Tyler Warren. He's looked so involved and so dang good.
About time the Colts focus on it.
Totally agree.
I haven't seen it since the days of Dallas Clark.
Yep. So let's get to Trill's super chat. Says start 1: Hendo, Tillman, Io Manor, Hunter. Ooh, and then a defensive question: Atlanta versus Indy. Hoff, you want to take that first part? I'll pull up Pete's rankings, and
you can pull up Pete's rankings, but I think he liked the Falcons a lot. I'm gonna go if he's starting 1 here. Hendo, Tillman, Io. I'm gonna go Hunter here. I'm gonna go Hunter, but it's close. I'm gonna go Hunter. Are you following along?
Yeah, I would go with Hunter as well, and the rankings would say start the Atlanta Falcons, has them in the top 3.
Atlanta Falcons have been sneaky, but people are starting to catch up to that. So yeah, but yeah, that's where we'd be going there. This is Dan still reading us off his lineup. Yeah, so there's his running backs, in case you want to know. Bijan, Gibbs, ETN, Warren, and Sharps. There you go. Like it. Jacob comes in, half point per reception flex. Hampton, Ibuka, or Ricky Pearsall. We're picking 2. Yeah. Ibuka and Ricky for me.
Yep. Same.
I don't trust Hampton. That's the recurring theme on today's show. Mm-hmm. Swift or Dobbins today. I'm going Swift. This is from Albert or Albert. How we spelled it. JSN, Ladd, or Pickens. Pick 2 wide receivers. Oh, I love Pickens so much this week, but I gotta go JSN and Ladd.
Good answer. That's the one. But and I would agree with Dobbins. Swift.
Yeah. It's Chucka, baby. Says, good morning, fellas. In chat, pick a defense, Jags, Chiefs, or Pays. Who's Pays?
Patriots, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's probably mid-Pats. You could, I'll get to, you could pull that up and see what Pete thinks. We go with him on all the DST stuff.
He would say to start the Chiefs, I believe.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to find everyone in the rankings.
That kind of makes sense. The Chiefs. I know everybody's excited about that matchup, but I mean the Chiefs do have a good defense. Let's be real here. I know they're playing the Giants, and America's rooting for the Chiefs to go 0-3, but I mean we are we?
I think so. Yeah, we're at that point.
All right, but he had the Chiefs.
Yeah.
All right,
but we got another super chat.
Yes.
So.
Get to that.
Let's jump to that one. Here. Gregory sending in a $10 super chat. We appreciate that, Greg. Gregory, excuse me. I'm starting Caleb Williams, Amon-Ra, T, Jordan Mason, Kyron Kraft, and Pacheco. Benches Boutte, D-Hop, Shaheed, Judy, Kyler, and Kareem Hunt. Should I drop D-Hop for T? What else would you change?
No, I'm not. No. He's saying should he put in D-Hop over T. Higgins, I guess, because he's worried about the Joe Burrow injury. I would not, if that's what he's asking.
Yeah. I would leave it as is. I'm keeping T in there. He's too good of a
I'm,
player to move for D
yeah.
Hop.
Keeping Caleb Williams over Kyler Murray, too. I just don't trust Kyler Murray. I don't trust Caleb either, but, I mean, I mentioned that matchup between the Bears and the Cowboys.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. I mean, Caleb has not been fantastic, but he's not been terrible both weeks either. And it's such a good matchup. Dallas' secondary is banged up. Travion Diggs is giving up big plays all over the field. So I like Caleb Williams' opportunity. He's got plenty of people that he can throw the ball to. So tons of points there.
If I'm reading this correctly, if my coffee is fit in yet, is he starting Pacheco at flex?
He
Because
is.
that I think we can have a discussion about.
Yes, I would swap for what, Judy?
Yeah, I would do Judy. I don't hate Kareem Hunt. I think he has a better night than Pacheco, but I go Judy over both of them here in this spot if it were me.
Yeah, I think I'd do the same thing. I talked about in my running back video how Kareem Hunt was a sneaky ad, just given the fact Pacheco hasn't played well. Hunt gets plenty of opportunities, and this offense trusts him. And frankly, Mahomes and Kelsey are chewing out everyone because they're not playing very well. And Hunt looked okay.
There you go. All right, so there we go. Let's go to. But by the way, thank you again, Gregory, for the super chat. Very generous. Guys, we're going to be here for another 10 minutes or so. So if you want to send in a super chat, cut the line. I know the questions are backed up. That's because we get a lot of these. Would you start Judy or Quentin Johnson or Pittman at PPR flex, or would you play Johnson tight end at the flex because of the targets? Call me crazy. I'm going out there on that limb for Juwan Johnson. If I wasn't doing Juwan Johnson, and Matt, you might call me crazy here as well, I'd go Pittman.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably call you crazy.
Names. But but I'll go Juwan Johnson, even crazier.
I think I would go Johnson too, and maybe it is crazy. I don't know, but you mentioned Pittman. Coach has been really high on Michael Pittman for most of his career, and thinks that Daniel Jones has kind of shown that he's not someone we should write off. So that would probably be the play I would make too. Actually, no. Yeah, no. I'm changing my mind. I'm gonna go with QJ if I had to start a wide receiver, but I'm going with Johnson over all those guys, like you said. Juwan Johnson, that is.
Yeah. By the way, it is pretty much officially announced that Brock Purdy is not playing today because they've said Adrian Martinez is going to be the backup for Mac Jones today. So there's that. That's coming from Ian Rappaport. Rishi comes in here. Chase Brown, Kamara, ETN start 2 standard. As much as I like ETN here, I think I go Chase Brown and Kamara. The standard makes me think a little bit harder about ETN or Kamara just because I'm more bullish on ETN than most. But I'm going Chase Brown and Kamara here.
Yeah, this is close. Standard changes a lot of things.
It does.
Yeah, I'm going to go Kamara and Chase Brown.
Yeah, but there's a reason why you're asking this, Rishi. It's close when it's standard. Brandon comes in here. Breece, ETN, or Mike Evans. Drake London, BTJ, or Mike Evans, full point per reception. So let's just answer the first question, since that was an actual question mark. Breece, ETN, or Mike Evans. I'm going Breece Hall here.
I'm going to go, if it's full PPR, I'm going to go with Travis Etienne.
Okay.
And I do like Breece this week too, so that's pretty close for me. Drake London, BTJ, or Mike Evans, full PPR. If I'm just picking one, I'm going to go with London.
Okay. Yeah, same. All right. This isn't a question, but it makes me chuckle internally. So, Whistle Dick says, "Let's go, boys. Let's kick the competition in the dick." All right, let's do it. Yeah.
Let's get after it.
Let's do it. Let's kick him in the front. Let's not be completely sexist, because maybe we're playing against a female, playing against something else, whatever. I'm backing away from that. Jonathan says, full point per reception, Chase Brown, Roma Dunze, Ashton Genty, and McLaurin. Bench one. If I'm I'm benching McLaurin one more week out of these names. Again, I just
that's McMillan. That's Ted McMillan.
Oh, my bad. Oh, geez, can't do that. Holy crap! Wait a minute. Yep. Then it's Roma Dunze. Then it's Roma Dunze. I'm benching.
Yeah, I think I'm going to bench
Sorry.
Rome.
Yeah. Apparently, I need another cup of coffee. It's fine. But yeah.
It's early.
Right. We did have a super chat, Matt, if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'll jump over to that. Jared Fortin, good friend of the show. Thank you, Jared. This PPR trade, give Najee and Wandale or Keenan Allen and get Monty or Judkins and Jaden Higgins. Okay.
Definitely doing the trade. It's just a matter of what pieces we're moving.
So Najee, would you rather have Wandale or Keenan?
I personally think what we're seeing from Keenan Allen is not going to be sustainable for the whole season. Personally, but yeah, I still go. I still go Najee and Keenan. Yeah,
I'd go Najee and Keenan for Monty and Judkins. Don't care about Jaden Higgins. You want Judkins in this situation.
But it seems like he can either have one of those running backs and the wide receiver. It feels like I'm saying it feels like to me it's a wide receiver and a running back.
Yes,
you know?
You're right. I'm sorry, I read that wrong.
But so I mean, if that's the case, I would go Judkins and Higgins. I'm just a little worried about Monty getting the touchdowns like we're used to seeing, those double-digit touchdowns.
And it's a little bit of a case of Judkins is the mystery box. He could absolutely be the guy that finishes top 15 at running back.
It could be a boat.
Yeah. So I think I would be fine with giving Najee and Keenan for Judkins and Higgins. Now, if you could swap Higgins for something else more useful, try that.
All right, there you go. And Jared, we appreciate the super chat, of course.
Thanks,
Again,
Jared.
guys, if you want to send in a super chat, we got about 5 more minutes before we ride off into the sunset. Matt B coming in with the question that I hate the most today. J.K. Dobbins or Hampton, half point per reception. I'm going Dobbins here. Again, broken record. Need to see it from Hampton.
Dobbins.
So, all right, let's go here. Let's go. Did we answer this? We did answer, right? Yeah, we answered that already.
Yes.
Swift or Dobbins? We said Swift. Yeah. Okay. Do we think GSN does well today? If he plays, if they put him out there, yes, he'll do well. Or should I start Pickens instead? I would play JSN over Pickens. Matt, I think you agreed on that, right? We answered something similar. He was in a full point per reception, 12-man. Keenan Allen in the flex. Should I start Pickens, JSN, or Ladd with Allen in the flex? I would go Pickens over Allen in the flex.
Totally agree.
Yeah. Debbie coming in. Good morning, fellas. Full point, full or pull one? Anyway, she needs a flex. Bill, Krosky, Merritt, Ibuka, or Judkins. Matt, I'll go to you first here. I'm going one of the RBs.
I'm going with Bill. I'm going
Bill?
to trust it. I said it before. I had Bill over Judkins. I'm going to stick by that answer despite liking Judkins more and more as the show goes on.
Yeah. Football guy comes in and says, would you start Russ or Goff? I have neighbors and worried about outdoors Goff. I mean, if you look at last year, Goff kind of debunked that whole outdoor thing. I know he had a ton of games indoors compared to outdoors, but he didn't do terrible last year outdoors. I'd still go Goff. Ravens give up a ton to quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think I'm with you.
Yeah. We got here. Terry R, pick 3, full point per reception. Wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, and a flex. DK, Debo, AJ, Chase Brown, that is, and Jordan Mason. I'm going to say right away, I'm flexing Jordan Mason because I love him this week. So then I got to go 2 wide receivers. I'm going to go Debo. And I'm going to go, this is picking between poop and poop. I'll go AJ Brown over DK Metcalf, but good God.
I'm starting AJ for sure.
Okay.
And I'm trying to figure out where I have. I'm going to go Debo, AJ Brown, and Chase Brown.
Sure.
So,
all right.
But it's close with Mason.
Me also popped in and said here, Baker Mayfield or Jalen Hurts. Baker Mayfield for me. I mean,
really?
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts.
No way.
Yeah. Nope. I'm going Hurts.
Okay. Well, all right. We're
I
definitely
think,
disagreeing on that one.
yeah. But we did get another super, so let's jump
Oh,
over to that.
get to that. Yeah, sorry.
Fredo Jr. says Judkins or Genty. Gino scaring him.
Fredo's smart. Fredo can do things, a la Godfather 2. Judkins or Genty? Wow. I feel like you're going to go Genty here.
Yep.
Because of what you mentioned, and you kind of swayed me. Yeah, I think I'd go Genty too. This will be one of those answers where I'll say I won't be shocked if they finish within a few points of each other, but I think Genty's got a higher ceiling.
Yeah, I think that this matchup with Washington, he's got a chance, man. I'm telling you. I've seen too many things that make me concerned. But thanks for the super chat, Fredo Jr.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate that. I was just reading an update, but it was the same exact thing I read earlier. So,
oh, sorry.
No. I didn't want to seem like I wasn't paying attention to Fredo. Goku Cheetos, interesting name. Should I hold on to Addison over a second tight end or QB? I have Pearsall, Jamar Chase, Adunze, and Ted McMillan as my wide receivers in a 10-man PPR league. I mean, it depends. Like, is your first tight end or first quarterback that scary that you need to drop Addison? I would like to not drop Addison if it were me. But yeah,
absent an emergency, I'm not dropping him.
Right. We got that question already. Tet or DK and PPR from John. Pete's balls are tingling somewhere. I'm going Tet.
This is for Pete. Tet.
Yep. With confidence. And by the way, Matt, good job. You dropped the or somebody did. I don't know if Pete jumped in there, but
that was me.
The Discord. That was good job. So there you go. We do have the Discord link in there. If you want to join our Discord,
it's free.
It is free. So we do have some paid tiers, but it is free. And you can talk to me and I can give you kicker advice. It'd be cool. Follow Rob Thomas of Matchbox 20. Welcome to my weekly RB2 nightmare. Start one in PPR. Travis Etienne or Tony Pollard.
Oh, well, this is a nightmare.
I would say this is a nice problem to have. I'm going Travis Etienne here. But it is close for me between those two. So I won't be shocked if Matt goes the other way. No. I'd go Travis Etienne.
Travis Etienne comfortably for me by about 10 spots. So give me Etienne.
All right, let's answer a few more. If you guys send in a super chat, we will get to it. Matt, you're good for another like 5 minutes, right? And then we
let's roll with
peace out. All right. So we got 5 minutes left. So if anybody wants to send in a super chat, send it in. We will get to them right away. Matt's been pretty prompt on those. Noel Santos, Keenan Allen, or Jerry Jeudy, full point per reception. Jerry Jeudy for me.
Jeudy.
We got RLF, half point. Hendo, Harvey, Scat, or Tootin.
Gross rookies. I'm going with Hendo.
Yeah, going Hendo, and that is disgusting. RLF, be better. Adrian, okay. Amarian Hampton, Debo, Scattaboo, Troy Franklin, Devonta Smith, Juwan Jennings. Start one flex. Starting one flex. Sorry, what time do the Eagles play here? Is that a
they play at 12 tonight. Yeah, 12.
Yeah. I'll go Devonta Smith here, but if it was one of those 4 o'clock things, I'd wait and see about Jennings news. But no, I'm gonna go Devonta here. KJM, tight end for PPR. Hawkinson, Sanders, or Jake Tonjes. I mean, I'm a Niner guy, but I'm not going Tonjes here, especially over these two. Give me Sanders all day.
Ooh, interesting. I'm going to go with Hawk. I know it's not been pretty, but, Sanders and that Panthers offense, I don't trust it.
Sure. I don't hate the Hawkins call either. I'm not going Tonjes. I mean,
totally agree.
Yeah, like you need him to fall into the end zone. He's not going to get Kittle volume. As I clear my throat, Eric, Mr. Lucky Schaefer says Sutton or Jamison Williams in my flex. Already have Nico, Debo, Lamb in lineup. That's a nice little lineup you got there, sir. I'm going to go Sutton here. I do think we get a Sutton bounce back. Jamison Williams, you're always playing him for the ceiling, but I think Sutton comes back here.
Yeah, Sutton.
Yeah. All right, let's get to we got 3 minutes left. Send in a super chat if you want. Mr. Jerry says he needs to drop one of Burden or Brashad Smith in a 12-man league for a QB. Play with sharps, so both will be snagged immediately. Drop defense instead. I hate the whole drop defense instead thing, personally. Me. I would drop Rashad Smith here if it were me.
I would too.
Yeah.
Maybe the emotions get high. DJ Moore once out of Chicago. Who the heck knows?
Yeah, there were some rumors, but not from actual legit reporters. But yeah, so but there were some reports about DJ Moore yesterday. Alejandro comes in PPR flex. Judkins, Downs, Franklin, Ferguson. I believe you said you liked Ferguson this week. Do you like him enough to put him over Judkins, though?
I sure
I'm going
do.
Judkins. Ooh. Okay.
Ferguson.
All right. I like
Love
it.
the opportunity.
Yeah. I believe we answered that one already. Mr. Lucky McShafer, we answered that already. What did we answer him? The Pearsall, Sutton, Jamison Williams. No, I don't think we answered this one. It's just a second question. Pick 2. Pearsall, Sutton, Jamison Williams, Bill Krosky, Merritt, Scadaboo. One is a wide receiver slot. The other is a flex. If I got to go wide receiver, I'm going to predict that Matt's going to go Sutton here, but I'm going to go Pearsall, and then Bill Krosky, Merritt will be my flex.
Yeah, I'm going Sutton and Bill.
Okay. All right. I don't hate the Sutton call. Trill came in Atlanta or Indy. Pete likes the Falcons. Yep. Yeah. I remember that because I watched his ZFS video. Keenan Allen or Calvin Ridley, non-PPR. Keenan Allen.
Ooh, Ridley. Non-PPR for me. Take the yards for Ridley. He could easily get 50 to 100 yards this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's close. I don't hate it. All right, we're counting down. We got about a minute or so left. Trill says Henderson, Tillman, Hunter, Ayumanner. Hunter would be my play. Matt?
Hunter as well. Yeah, Hunter.
Ryan says, are you guys confident in Marvin Harrison Jr., Brian Thomas, and DeAndre Swift? That's my I trust a used car salesman more than I trust Marvin Harrison right now, to put that in perspective for you. That's how I feel about Marvin Harrison. I do think Brian Thomas bounces back, and we've mentioned Swift a lot in the show. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm going to be comfortable with those guys. So it's just a little scary right now. Marvin Harrison, temper expectations. But Hoff, we got another super chat. So
we do. Before you read that, I will just mention, as per Mike Garafolo, Cam Scadaboo is expected to get more snaps in week 3. So there we go.
Adjust rankings accordingly, folks.
That's right.
Dame with $4.99 says need an RB2 and 1 flex. His options are Josh Jacobs, Chuba, or Javonte Williams. I'm going with Jacobs and Chuba. And that feels wrong to leave out Javonte Williams, who has played really, really well, but those are 2 tough guys to compete with right there.
I mean, thank you for the super chat, Dame. And I mentioned earlier, I do love Chuba. I've got him in several lineups. He's just he's a nice, consistent play, not a sexy name, but I'm going Jacobs, and I'm still riding the hot hand of Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams to me is like a blackjack dealer. When they keep busting, you keep putting the chips in. Ride that hot hand. I'm going Javonte still, but Jacobs is the constant. So there you go. All right, Matt. Do you want to ride off into the sunset, or?
Yeah, let's. I have to give a shout out. This is a good friend of mine, Tristan, tuning in.
Hey,
George Pickens or DJ Moore. So I'm going to make you answer his question just because I appreciate Tristan.
I am high on George Pickens. Again, I do like the matchup though for the Bears, but I'm going Pickens. Well, I like the matchup for the Cowboys too, obviously, but I'm going Pickens here. But,
yeah, Pickens for me too. So there you go, Tristan.
All right. Well, listen, we couldn't get to everybody. That's a product of having a show with a lot of viewers, which we appreciate you guys. We hope you hit the like button. If you have any questions, fire them into the comments after we go off the air. We usually see those. We can get to those. You can follow me, of course, at the FF Realist on X. I'll answer questions there. And also, you can follow Matt at the FF Mediators. He will answer questions there as well. Until next time, folks, stay thirsty. Be kind to one another. Do not start Kyle Pitts. We'll catch you on the flip side, and cheers.